So let's talk about listening today. And I mean really listening. When I ask leaders, what does it look like when you're really listening to somebody? I often get responses like, well, I'm making eye contact with them. Okay. I'm nodding my head, maybe saying, so I can show them that I'm tracking the conversation. Sometimes I even hear, well, I'm not saying or doing much because I want to give them the space to do the talking so I can listen. All of these responses are really valid, right? And yet what I find so interesting is that I've been in many conversations in my life where someone is looking at me. They're doing all of this. They're looking at me, they're nodding their head, they're staying silent. Maybe they're saying a few ahas to show that they're tracking the conversation. And in that moment, all I can think of is, wow, this person is a million miles away from this conversation. Have you ever felt that way? That someone seems to be doing all of the right things to stay present in the conversation and really listen, but you do not feel heard. Okay, so we've had that experience, right? We know what that feels like. So let's flip this and check ourselves for a moment. The last time you spoke face-to-face with someone, maybe that was at the breakfast table this morning, maybe it was with a colleague at your last meeting. But the last time you spoke face-to-face with someone, were you really focused on the here and now of what they were saying? Or were you maybe in your head rehearsing your reply? Or were you thinking about what you needed to prepare for your next meeting or what you were going to make for dinner? See, being present, listening, it sounds so simple. But when we really stop to think about it, with all the things that command our attention these days, our minds are often anywhere but here in the present moment. We've got dings and lights and buzzers that go off at our desks. We've got schedules that are packed, overlapping meetings. That's just our professional lives, right? Sometimes the greatest gift we can give another person is the purity of our attention. It's the gift of really listening. And I know what you're thinking because I thought it too. I don't have the time or the energy to be completely present during every single conversation that I have every single day. And guess what? We don't have the time and energy not to. Because when we're not fully present, we miss each other. We might hear every single word, but we miss the message entirely. And missed messages cause us so much grief and pain and rework and problems. We need to spend time and energy cleaning that up later. So what you might be thinking right now is, well, how do I do that? How do I put all of those distractions aside and really focus on what the other person's saying? A question that I find really helpful going into conversations is to ask myself, what do I have to release? What do I have to let go of or check at the door in order to be fully present with this person that's sitting across from me? So for me, some days I need to release the meeting I just came from because boy, am I frustrated. And that conversation is plaguing me right now. It's taking up a lot of space in my head. So I have to release that in order to be fully present. Or maybe it's whatever meeting I'm headed into next that's taking up too much space and distracting me. Sometimes it's just that I need to release my assumptions of what I think you are going to say or this person is going to say. And instead I need to stay present with what they're actually saying. That's a hard one. So as we know, the holidays are fast approaching, which means lots of FaceTime, hopefully, with people that we haven't spent a lot of time with face-to-face in the last few years. Family, friends, loved ones, our favorite people. My question to you is this: how will you make the most of that time? How will you make the most of your conversations with the people that matter most to you? How can you show up here prepared to be nowhere else?